Miss Yasmin. Today me, Patricia and Martin and AINA KARMILA are going to present about the spectroscopy. In spectroscopy, the topic that we chose is the determination of ultraviolet, nuclear magnetic resonance and infrared spectra of celecoxib. Now we will move on to the first part, which is the research topic, celecoxib identification method. The objective of this study was to identify of celecoxib through the several analytical methods. Analytical methods that used to identify celecoxib is nuclear magnetic resonance, ultraviolet and infrared spectrophotometry. All of them are performed in accordance with the methodological of official codes. Next, we will move on to the method that used to identify celecoxib that will be presented by AINA KARMILA.
Now, method of these studies. Okay, firstly, we do celecoxib extraction. Celecoxib extraction is begin by extract celecoxib from the Celebra TM 100 mg and 20 mg capsule. Then 10 capsule were crushed to fine powder using mortar and pestle, and after that we transfer to 50 ml volumetric flux and dilute with a solvent which is methanol, and the solution was shake for 5 minutes and we filter it, and then the residue was recrystallized from acetonitrate after evaporation of the solvent in a water bath at 50 degrees under a stream of nitrogen. And then from this sample preparation, the purpose of method were tested in capsule after extraction according to the extraction procedure. There are 3 methods that we use to study celecoxib, which is ultraviolet spectrophotometry, nuclear magnetic resonance (NMR), and infrared spectrophotometry. The methods that we use in ultraviolet spectrophotometry is UV spectrometer model 2201 1 cm quasar cells, and the solvent that we use is methanol. Okay, firstly we dissolve the sample or the reference material in 200 ml of methanol, and then we put in the spectrometry UV Swiss Simadazu, and then we measure the absorbance, and the spectrum was recorded. For nuclear magnetic resonance, the material that we use is Bruker DRS 500 advanced spectrometer, which is at 500.30 MHz frequency, that is frequency, equipped with 5 mm proton probe. The method is the spectrum were recorded using the MSO as a solvent with all the chemical shift in the range 0 to 10 ppm. For infrared spectrophotometry, we use Shimadazu model FTIR 8101 infrared spectrum photometer. Okay, so the method is we titrate and green the 1.5 mg of the sample with 150 mg finely powdered and dried potassium bromide, and the emission was then spread it uniformly in a suitable dye and submit it to the vacuum to a pressure of about 100 MPa. The extracted sample were examined and we record the spectrum. Now it's about instrument use, so I pass to Patricia to continue this presentation.
The third part is the instrument used. Based on the study for the ultraviolet spectrophotometry, the instrument that used is UV-Vis model 2201 with the automatic accuracy wavelength of 0.1 nanometer for the identification of the spectrophotometry. For the nuclear magnetic resonance that carried out by using the Bruker DRX 500 advanced by operating 500.13 Hz. For the infrared spectrophotometry, the instrument that used is FTIR model 8101 for identify the infrared spectrophotometry. Next, we will move on to the sample used. For this study, the sample that used is capsule of Celebra produced by the Pfizer USA were purchased in the local market. Each capsule containing 100 or 200 mg of the celecoxib and the excipients such as lactose, sodium lauryl sulfate, palladium, corpuscular sodium, magnesium citrate, and titanium dioxide were used. Next, we will move on to the instrument setting. Instrument setting is the solvent's requirement that when carrying out the experiment. So for the first one, for the ultraviolet spectrophotometry, in the development of this method, several solvents were used like methanol, acetyl nitrate, and hydrochloric acid. The above solvents are used in the combination and also as a pure solvent. So next, we will move on to the nuclear magnetic resonance. In the spectrums were recorded using the MSO as a solvent, which also a chemical shift in the range of 0 to 10 ppm. So for the nuclear magnetic resonance, DMSO is used as a solvent. So for the infrared spectrophotometry, solvent used as a potassium bromide disc, where the potassium bromide disc was prepared by using the sample 1.5 5 mg of the fine grounded sample and plus with 150 mg of fine powdered potassium bromide. By combining both sample, we can get a disc. These discs are used as a solvent to carry out the infrared spectrophotometry. Next will be the result part, which will be presented by AINA again.
Next is the results after these studies using ultraviolet spectroscopy, NMR and IR. From ultraviolet spectroscopy studies, they found that a maximum absorption of salicosip at 252. Meanwhile, in NMR, the NMR provided much more information about molecular structures, and proton NMR mostly commonly used as it's sensitive and the large amount of structure information is here. The combination of infrared and NMR spectroscopy data is often sufficient to determine the structure of an unknown molecule. So, from the peaks that we got at 2.3 and 3.3 ppm, the functional group they found is methyl and sulfonamide protons. Meanwhile, 7.3 to 7.9 ppm, the functional group that they found is proton of aromatic groups. From infrared spectroscopy, they found that the relative size of the reference and the sample band are concordant in both spectra. At 1150 to 1350 band frequency, they found that sulfonamide group, which is S double bond with O stretching. Meanwhile, at 1550 to 1600, they found NH stretching, and lastly 3300 to 3500, they found NH2 stretching. This indicate that salicosip structure. After all of this study, the objective of this research was to apply analytical methodologies for the correct identification of salicosip. Being a relative new drug, there are not many publications concerning its analysis, and so far it is not included in any official code. Some of the methodologies are simple and have been found to be accurate, precise and suitable, giving by this way reliable results. Hence, the method evaluated in this study are applicable for identification of salicosip in routine quality control laboratories for the identification of these drugs. So that's all from us. Thank you.